can see it. I'm getting pretty lean, a little bit vascular. And always remember to squeeze the juice. Okay, howdy guys and gals. Hope you've been doing well. It's been a hot minute since I did a video. I'm still alive, I'm still prepping. In fact, it is peak week. I've been stupidly lazy, as you can tell. I haven't done a video in like a month, and I am super sorry about that, guys. At the end of the day, I tell you what, the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever it's been, I think it's 4 weeks since I did that last video, or whatever it was it 3? I don't know. I'm losing time, track of time. It's been a bit of a whirlwind. I've had so little motivation to do anything but my necessities. You know, I've been caught up. It's been a few years since I competed, guys. So this prep has been a long one coming, and I kind of wanted to make sure that I pushed it pretty hard because I kind of wanted to, I've always been one of those people that kind of try to make a bit of a bang. That's the thing, is if I do something, I go all in. So I kind of wanted to really focus on this prep, especially being such a long ass prep. These last few weeks have been, hell of an experience. I didn't really have any cheat meals through this whole, it's been almost like 5 months, sorry, it's like 20 weeks. I had like 3 meals that were homemade that were a bit richer. No cheat meals, if I recall. I may have had the odd gelato here and there in the first month, or, you know, around there, but pretty much 12 weeks out onwards, it was game time. I think I had like 2 meals that were a little bit out of plan. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it, getting pretty lean, a little bit vascular, and you probably see it in my face. I've definitely pushed it. I don't know what body fat percentage I am. I'm probably around that 5-ish mark. I'm super excited, guys. You know, basically with this prep, it's gone pretty well to plan in regards to the desired weight loss and fat loss and all that kind of stuff. I think I gauged myself to be roughly 25%, maybe even higher percent body fat at the start, 115 kilos. Got sick, lost 3 kilos, then started my prep then. So I don't know if I want to count those 3 before the 112. But I started there, and now I'm 88, guys. Depleted, stark nude on the fast. You know, that's crazy for me. I think that's got to be one of my biggest drops for a comp prep. Silly, yes, but kind of happy to have dropped all the fat for sure. I feel garbage now, yes, it is peak week, but I'm super stoked to make sure that I don't go above 15 from here on. You know, so lifestyle changes, maturity, a few things have definitely come into play, and I just don't really have that desire to get super blimpy, I'd rather structure things better. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why I'm pretty damn confident I'm not going to get that fat again. It was just one of those silly chasing numbers things, treating myself, weird places in life that made me want to indulge in food and stuff like that. I don't know. Either way, much better place now. Really looking forward to this show coming up, guys. It's Monday. It's literally 5 days away. Now that I've got all of that stuff out of the way, talking about all that, I want to talk about what the peak week ahead is going to look like, more or less, just so you guys can follow along if you guys want to know a little bit about my mentality towards peak week. So with peak week, for me, I'm a big believer in doing the old, I guess you could say, deload and then reload method. I also do like to play with a bit of sodium and water. I will definitely say though, if you're going to do that, guys, you need to know your science, you need to know your information. I do have a university degree with exercise sports science, so I have a pretty good grasp on physiology and basically essentially understanding the reactions that undergo within the body when you're playing with your nutrition, and that is macros and micros and water. So those things you do need to understand when it comes to being able to manipulate peak week and actually getting the most out of your physique. If you don't know and you're coming into peak week looking pretty fucking good, don't stuff with your shit. If you're looking lean and you're looking good, pretty much do exactly what you're doing. And if you do have low carbs, maybe just up those carbs and do a little bit of a dehydration pretty much on the day, if that. And you know, like I wouldn't I wouldn't stuff with it. Heck, if you drink on your training days and you look like an absolute shredded beast, I'd drink. Like, there's no one size fits all formula when it comes to this stuff, guys. You got to do what works for you. I know what works for me. This is probably show number 12 that I've ever done. So I do know that for me with peak week, I do quite well with a deload. I'm pretty much depleted all the time, guys, I will admit, so I don't really need to do a deload. I'm eating it like, okay, I'll let you guys know what I'm sitting at with macros first. I was actually at 1.8 about a week or two ago. 1.8 thousand calories. Then I went down to 1.6 for a week or two. It lasted for a fair while, but I was feeling pretty dog shit and just added another 200 calories back in because I was losing weight pretty quick, but I was struggling. I didn't have the energy that was required to actually move forward with my daily needs, because I'm also a human being that isn't sponsored. I need to work, I need to tend to my friends, family, relationship, all that kind of stuff. Speaking of relationship, I definitely want to also give a shout out to my partner Bhavani, because she's been an absolute valuable asset, specimen of a human being, Wonder Woman, because I have definitely been a little reliant on her in some ways. There's been days there where I felt absolutely garbage, I could barely move, and she's, you know, cooked, cleaned, you know, made me coffees, soda streams, which have been damn good for me, and a whole bunch of different things, and I really, really appreciate that. And, you know, comp prep does do some pretty crappy things to your mentality, so you can be a little bit shorter with irritability and all that kind of stuff. And I know I've been a bit of a grouch at points, and I do really appreciate the understanding that Bhavani has shown me through this. So if she's watching this, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your support. It's been incredible. You've been such an amazing partner throughout this whole prep before, and I'm sure beyond. Yeah, look, if you're doing a comp prep and you've got a partner, guys, you know, hopefully they understand too, and they help you out as much too. Either way, that being said, to go back to the peak week, I'm currently sitting at 1.8 thousand calories. Carbs are around about, protein's about 200, carbs are at about 110, 120, if that, and fats are pretty low. So with this comp prep, guys, I went pretty low fat. Not always going to recommend that to a lot of people. Low fat can be pretty harsh. I will quickly say this, and I will stand by it. Comp prep and bodybuilding and all of that jazz, when it comes to competition level, trying to get so lean, is not a healthy sport. Not many sports are. When it comes to extreme sport, you know, you do put your body through some harsh shit. Weightlifting, even team sports, all that kind of stuff. You get concussions, you get knocks, you overtrain, you do some pretty harsh shit for water cuts, all these kind of things. Comp prep for bodybuilding is the same. It's not a healthy sport, but you do it for the passion, you do it for the love, and you make sure that you clean up your life around it. And in the off season, you don't eat like a fucking idiot in the off season, because you do put your body through some stress now. So make sure that if you guys are going to compete, you eat smart in your off season. Don't act like a fucking idiot with your arteries, with your hormones, with a whole bunch of shit that goes on with your body, so that when you do put yourself through the ringer in the last month or two of peak week of comp prep, you can handle it and you can bounce in and out of it fairly well. Make sure you also get your bloods checked, just to make sure all your organs, all your blood levels, all your cholesterol, blah, 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 you know, blood sugars, all that are good and gravy, because man, does it knock the shit out of you. Which, you know, I try to get my bloods taken at the start, during the peak, and after of comp preps, because I want to make sure that, one, I know the stress that my body is in at the heat of it. In fact, I just gave bloods and I'm going to check my results in a couple of days. But I also want to see how, I want to make sure I can bring myself back to a safer point after, so that I'm back in optimal mode to grow muscle and live a good, healthy life. Because your body and your mind are connected, guys. If you don't treat your body well, you're just going to have a shit mentality, and you're going to get depression, anxiety, and you're going to have a lot of mood issues, and people aren't going to want to be around you and stuff like that. So yeah, either way, you know, hopefully you guys are up for a yammering video, because that's what this is. It's a whole bunch of weeks of crap that I've been meaning to say that I haven't said. So if you don't watch it, that's cool. If you skip through it, that's cool as well. Maybe I'll do a timestamp of things. But yeah, so with peak week, how I run my protocol, I like to pretty much 7 days out start running my sodium high, my water high. I like to load those, sodium and water. The reason being is aldosterone levels then drop, because the body senses such high levels of sodium. Aldosterone, which is a water retentive hormone, drops down, and as it doesn't need to be so high to regulate water through the body. And then what ends up happening is you're having a lot of water to help flush that through too, which is essential to keep a good control of your blood pressure. And also to feel good in general and to make sure everything's happening right. And then I do that pretty much all the way up until the day before. Halfway through the day, I cut my sodium pretty harsh. Not completely, but pretty close. And then I keep drinking. That's another thing too. You want to keep drinking, you want to keep pushing that sodium out. I keep drinking all the way up until either bedtime, or I naturally get up and take a slash once or twice because my body is under a bit of stress through comp prep, so my adrenals, my kidneys are firing off a bit harder, so I do wake up probably 2-3 times a night and take a slash. That's just me. I also drink about 5-6 liters of water a day, probably 5. 6 might be a bit much, but sometimes, to help push all of that through, to get that happening, to just keep it going. And then basically in the middle of the night, I pretty much just stop drinking water. And then that just literally, the body's still thinking, hey, it's coming in, so it just starts pushing it all out. And with all of that comes any residual sodium. And the thing about sodium is it holds a lot of subcutaneous water and all that stuff. You do want to have a little bit. That's why I don't believe you should do a stupidly zero cut, because it's hard to get a really nice pump without any sodium, but you can kind of get that back in like an hour or so before you pump up, which is kind of the goal there too. So you can drop it out almost completely. It's a tricky one. I don't want you guys taking this as the word of, like the way to be, because, I can be wrong. I'm going to admit that, but this seems to work for me. This is what I'm doing. So yes, I'm not a person to hold accountable for this. And then when it comes to carb loading, it's 4 days out and 3 days out I deload. Not that I really need to, because again, I'm so low with carbs, but I halve it again basically and go just to like 50 or less grams of carbs a day. I keep my fats high, well, protein high, because it's a very thermogenic macro, so you end up burning through a bit of fuel, including the residual carbs that you got there anyway, to a degree. Kind of the body, to metabolize proteins, it actually demands a bit of fuel, so there's that. And then I keep my fats actually a bit higher too, so I actually allow my calories to rocket up, still not to a maintenance level, but a bit higher, just so I feel a bit better. Because this is the first time in the whole comp prep where I'm actually able to replenish a bit of the fats and the happy, endocrine system reactions and all that other kind of stuff, and lymphatic system reactions to help me not get sick and stuff. So I feel a bit more vibrant and good. And then those, I pretty much do that. So 3-4 days out, and then 1 and 2 days out. So the last 2 days I carb load, and it's you should, in my opinion. And I've got a good mate who I run things backwards and forwards to, who, essentially we learned a lot of our stuff together back through the last decade of uni, and he did a really in-depth course with Menno Henselman, if you know who that is. He's a very smart guy when it comes to physiology and human stuff. So basically, we just came to the conclusion that, you should be in a bit of a surplus, nothing too crazy, but enough, and you want to really rocket up the carbs, keep the fats as low as possible, because you don't want to store any fats. The thing about carbs, guys, is that with carbs, if you do go absolutely bonkers with it, it's not easy for the body to store it as a fat. I don't know, some people might be like, hang on a sec, but I'm pretty sure of that. If you look through a lot of the literature and the science, is that the body will really struggle, even if you are at ridiculously high levels of carbs. That, yes, there is an upper limit, but let's just say you went into a massive surplus and you had nothing but carbs. Your body goes through so many measures to avoid fat storage of that carb. It tries to usually get you jittering, moving. Thermogenesis is a big one. Your body temperature goes through the roof, you start sweating, a whole bunch of stuff like that. So basically, if I keep my fats really low those last 2 days, I can get my carbs stupid high, filling up everything to the brim, especially because they're super sponge dry, because I've just done the depletion, so they'll super suck up everything. I keep my proteins just at a nice normal level, not too high, because I'm going to be in a surplus. It's not like my body's going to be attacking my muscle to, sustain itself. So basically, I can keep my protein even a little lower if I want, so I can really maximize that glycogen coming in through carbs. So and I smash that, and then I pretty much, which is pretty good because I can sodium load with that. But then the last meal or two of that second day has to be as low sodium as I can. That's a tricky one. And then the water keeps pushing through, and the water will grab all of those sodium and carbs and do all the good things, because sodium is also super important for moving stuff around the body with water, including nutrients. So it's very important, in my opinion, to make sure you've got good sodium levels moving around your body with the water to grab those carbs and sugars in your blood and push them into, or pull them into, if you want to think of it like that, into your muscles for storage. So there you have it, guys. That's my protocol of sodium, water, and carb manipulation for peak week. That's my understanding of it. You'll see how I look, if it works or not. Hopefully I don't look like a blobby piece of shit, but I don't think I will. I think, honestly, if you're having to heavily rely on peak week manipulation, you've probably fucked up your prep somewhere along the line. You've probably cheated on your diet, or you've miscalculated, or your coach has. I think if you do it right and you land on the button, it's only a little bit of an icing on the cake. Even if you failed your peak week protocol, you should still look pretty good, to be fair. I know people that come into peak week on their show days purposefully depleted because they believe they look better that way and they have the exercise to do so. So there's so many ways you can approach this. You just don't really want to be a soggy, water-loaded person. Oh, good old caffeine. So that's peak week for you guys. I'm not really going to unveil my physique. Sorry if you've been waiting for that through this video. I want to really, hit the stage with a bit of a powwow, hopefully. I'm not, mind the term, cockskin shredded, in my opinion. Not really, because for me, I believe that's there's only been a few people in the world that have had that type of conditioning on stage. But I am pretty proud of the level of conditioning I've got. It's probably the best that I've had through my comp preps, especially because I did try to get my legs to come out a bit more. As expected, guys, my legs aren't as big as I would have liked. The knee and lower back issue on my left knee and my right SIJ joint in my back definitely held me back from a lot of compound work, which I'm pretty sure it took a lot of thickness away from my legs. But hey, they don't look terrible. There's a bit of detail coming through, so hopefully I can just pose them right. In terms of upper body, I'm pretty happy with it. A few little things could be a bit better, but all in all, guys, I've only got what I've got to work with, and I've put on roughly 10 kilos of lean mass since my last show in China 5 years ago. So all in all, I think we're doing pretty good. I think we did as good as we could, more or less. It's pretty much now up to just the next few days. I'm about to go and do legs very soon as my last working day, which I'm not going to go stupid with because my left knee is still a bit funky. But should be good for my posing routine, which is all I really need it to be good for, hopefully, because I am going to move into a bit of a lunge pose at some point or another in that. It's a bit of a hint at how I'll be posing a little bit with my classic routine. Because yes, I am doing classic bodybuilding or classic physique, as well as the board shorts men's physique divisions. So yes, that's on this Saturday in Dandenong at the Drum Theatre. PCA Australian Open is the show. $60 for the tickets if you do feel like going. It starts at 2 p.m. It's meant to run only up until 6. I don't know how they're going to do it so quickly, but hey, I hope so, because I want to feed after it and I don't really want to be so dehydrated for that whole day. So we'll see how we go. Yeah, look, it should be just a very interesting experience nonetheless. I want to say thank you to everyone who's given me some solid, awesome support throughout this comp prep, especially Silverbacks Jim Bendigo and Brad Cunningham, who owns it. He's been an absolute boss. He's been awesome. He's been a great friend and support throughout this whole comp prep. If you're ever in Bendigo, you need to drop through Silverbacks. It's a fantastic gym. It's a mad community, and it's a great sub store as well. Has heaps of stuff and great pricing. So Silverbacks Gym in Bendigo, thank you so much to all the community members and staff that have been super supportive, kind, and I don't think I've been too short, sharp, or weird or anything like that, but if I have, thanks for tolerating it. But I think all in all, it's been good vibes. Yeah, that's mainly it. My partner Bhavani's been wonderful, and Silverbacks, they've both been incredible. And all the other close mates that have been helpful and supportive, you know who you are. And I'll hopefully see you guys at the show. Either way, I'm not really sure what else there is to say. I just wanted to give you an update. You've seen my face now. You can see that I've dropped a bit of extra fat. I'm actually sodium loading, so I've actually, there's a bit of water still there. So yes, I'm going to suck in even more very quickly when I sodium drop in and dehydrate. It's going to be crazy. And as you saw from the forearms and stuff like that, I'm pretty lean and vascular. Not too vascular. I don't like over-vascularity. I don't like over-graininess. I don't like that look, in my personal opinion. I think a classic physique bodybuilder is meant to have enough veins to look strong and functional, but not so much their roadmap and it disturbs detail. It's just not aesthetic. Either way, guys, thanks for listening to my, I don't know how long this is going for, but long ass Yammer chat. 20 minutes, Jesus. Okay, thank you guys. If you did watch all of this, stay tuned. I'm gonna hopefully have another video. Well, I'm gonna get some content leading up to the show and on show day and so forth, backstage if I can, everything I can, and then I'll do a video as well. But this is just something I wanted to put out there before I step on stage and do all of that, just to give you guys a heads up that I'm still in this and what the plan ahead looks like coming into this show. So yeah, guys, I'll leave you to it. Thanks for watching. Wish me luck. I am feeling pretty dog shit, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the most energy I've had, and it's probably just because I'm on camera. My sessions have been alright, but yeah, just very low energy. Pre-workouts and stims, you know, the raise cans here and there, and coffees, and all of that is pretty much all I've been relying on to get me through. Yeah. Either way, I'll leave you to it. Remember, guys, hopefully you guys have still been kicking ass, kicking your goals, staying shredded, swole, sexy, and otherwise. And, you know, of course, as always, making sure that you always squeeze the juice. Okay, guys, I'll leave you to it. Stay tuned for the next video when it comes to the show. Hopefully you guys are impressed with what you see with my physique. Let's do it, guys. I'll see you next time.